Hey everyone, this is Subnet and welcome to my channel. So throughout this series, we have been using CIDR notation like /24, /25, /26, right? To design our networks. By now, you must be all aware what I'm talking about, okay? But if you've ever configured like some kind of a router, again, I'm not going to get into how do we configure a router, but in case if you ever have or if any of you have seen anyone configuring, you must have seen something like this. Let me just show it to you. Yeah, so you must have seen something like this. Let me just adjust it properly. I'm pretty sure all of you will have come across something like this. Okay, this is an example. I'm not covering any other part, but some of you must have noticed this subnet mask. You see over here, this is the IPv4 address, and you must have seen this subnet mask. You see the one in this 255.255.255.0, what that is. In this video, we will be only focusing upon this, okay? Everything else we can ignore for now, okay? So what exactly is subnet mask? The answer is surprisingly simple. So subnet mask and CIDR notation is exactly the same information. What do I mean by that? Let me clear up this board first. So we had learned that, yeah, we had earlier learned that CIDR notation is essentially like a boundary, right? To determine which is the network part and which is the host part, okay? So subnet mask does exactly the same, okay, but in a different format. What do I mean by that? Let me show it to you. So for example, if you have 192.168.0.0.0/24. So /24, which means we know that the fourth octet is the host part, while all these three are network parts, okay? So how will this look in subnet mask? How will that look, okay? So it will be 255.255.255.0. The first three octets, they are the network part, they are locked in, they will not change. This last part is the host part. To explain this better, let me show you what it looks like in action. Let me just zoom in properly. Yeah. So this is like a perfect representation of what subnet masking is, okay? So in the binary, if you remember, when you total all of them, over here you can see the sum is 255, okay? When all the 8 parts of the first octet, the 8 bits, when they are all network part, okay? That means they are all 1 in value. 1 as in, if you remember in binary, 1 as in on, 0 as in off, okay? So if they're all switched on, so the total of this would be 255, which means this is the network part, okay? Then in the second octet, it's similar. It's exactly the same. If you calculate all of them, it's 255. All of them are network parts. All of them are be switched on, which means this will also be 255, okay? Third octet again is the same, all network part, okay? All of them are switched on, so the total will be 255, okay? This is like the mask that we are referring to. And the fourth octet, all of them are hosts. When I ensure these values are 0, by that I mean the network part is switched off, which means by default they are the host part, okay? Which means this will be 0 value. Make sense? Now, let's say if instead of /24, we make it /25. What will the subnet mask be, okay? Let me show you. So let's say if we turn this into network, this is 1. Let me just color code this as mustard. So this would be 128 because we have switched on this value of this bit, which represents 128. So this will be /25, which means this will be 128, which means we will have the IP address range of 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.0.127 as the first block, and the second block would be 192.168.0.128 to 192.168.0.255. Make sense? So this is how the subnet masks work. Essentially, this is exactly the same as this, yeah? Only a different format of representation, okay? Let's say if we convert this to 26, how would that work, okay? Let's open up our calculator. So it will be, this will be network, this will be 1. Let me just color code this as mustard. So 128 plus 64 is 192. This will be 192, yeah? So this is the end result. Again, all this I am assuming that all of you have already understood what CIDR notation is, what the slash notation is, how the boundaries shift, and how the boundary is calculated, okay? Again, if you have not gone through the whole CIDR calculation, please go back to the previous video because all the networking concepts is based on that. That's the foundation, that is the core, okay? Again, if you have understood the whole slash CIDR notation, subnet mask would be very simple, okay? It's only a change of format, nothing else, okay? For your ease of access and ease of understanding, in our cheat sheet, I've created this another page which is called Subnet Mask Calculator, okay? Now, what the Subnet Mask Calculator does is that it, whenever you see 255.255.255.0, okay? Which one would this go for? As in, which CIDR notation would it be appropriate for? For example, let's say /27, okay? /27 over here. This is the one. It ends here. So its subnet mask would be 255.255.255.224. Yeah, makes sense? Let's put it in implementation and see how this works, okay? And this, I've created this subnet mask calculator, is that in case you're in a production environment, you should not have to break your head on, what it could be. So let's put this in implementation and let me show you some further examples, okay? So for example, let's make it, I don't know, 30, okay? Let's make this X because we are keeping it as a variable, /30. Let's open up our cheat sheet. What is /30, okay? /30, this is the intersecting point which has the 1 in it, okay? Makes sense? So this one would it be, let me just zoom in if you're able to see this properly here. Yeah, /30 is this row AH, okay? This one is the intersection point, okay? This is 255.255.255.252. Pretty much, yeah? And if you're still not sure of, okay, you can always open up this IP subnet calculator. This is like, an all-in-one calculator. You can also do that. Okay, let's say it's 192.168.0.0 /30. Calculate. You see a subnet mask over here? This one? It pretty much provides you the exact same information, okay? This is just more on your fingertips and this is more with the link, the calculator.net link, okay? Let's say if we have 27. So what would a 27 be? Let's open up our cheat sheet, /27. This is the intersection point. You see over here 1, okay? This is the one where it ends. In both rows and columns, this is the one, the maximum version it is. So let's look at the subnet. 255.255.255.224, okay? So this will be 224. Want to check? Let's check. Calculate. See? So this is basically all about how we calculate the subnet mask, okay? Again, I'm repeating myself once again. To understand subnet masking, it's crucial that all of you understand the CIDR notation, the /, how that is calculated, because everything else is based on that, okay? Also, one more thing I want to cover is that in the subnet mask calculator and in the CIDR cheat sheet, okay, you will notice one thing different over here. In this one, the row 13, yeah, the one in blue. Here we begin from /0 and here we begin from /1. There's a difference, yeah, but this difference intentional. Why? Let me explain. So in the CIDR cheat sheet, that is counting how many network bits exist. Okay, so which is why it starts with /0. That is the network bits, okay? It starts with 0 network bits, which is why in CIDR values, it will still go with 0, /0. While in subnet mask calculator, it is different. In subnet mask calculator, the row number 2 that you see over here is showing the binary value contributed by each bit, which is why the first one will be 128. Make sense? So please, when you see this, the difference, the difference in both these sheets where one begins from /0, the other begins from /1, it's intentional. There's a reason behind it. Both these sheets serve different purposes, okay? Different purposes, different calculation. Please do not get confused. This one is for the network bits, which is why it starts from 0. This one is from the binary value, which is why it begins from /1. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So, my recommendation would be please experiment, please practice, please give yourselves wacky examples. Again, I repeat myself: the wackier the examples, the stronger your logic. The wackier the examples, the stronger your logic. Okay. So I hope this subnet mask, this topic was useful and it has cleared all doubts. And again, please keep practicing as much as you want. You can always drop in your questions in your comments. Please like and subscribe. And I hope this video is useful and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.